in hand, and we could talk a little more in detail about your work. Tell me, how does mountain climbing shed light on how our DNA folds up into our cells?
Well, with when you go climbing, you go with ropes, and inevitably the ropes get tangled up.
Hmm.
And the same is true for sailors and for fishermen, and and so. And the other thing you have to do in climbing is to ensure that ropes can be held together, and you clip them together. You don't glue them together.
Right.
Um, and it was through our work, experiments in the lab, that we realized that the substance that holds DNAs together during mitosis forms a ring. And from my experience of dealing with ropes and clipping ropes into carabiners, it led naturally to the idea that maybe you held the DNAs together by clipping them into this ring structure.
Right.
That's still a hypothesis, but what we for sure know is that when you break the bridge and allow the sister DNAs to go to opposite sides of the cell, what happens is an enzyme comes and cuts the ring open, and that releases the bond that holds them together. So it's all about topology, ropes, carabiners. I just happen to be a climber, and you know.
Two passions combining.
Well, I always felt that doing something different helped me do the science as well. So,
I love
yeah.
that. And then you, I think, touched on this briefly, but when the DNA is not properly folded, that can cause trouble. How is that, and what can we do about that?
Well, this process of mitosis, when it goes awry, it can contribute to cancer. It can also contribute to aneuploidy. For example, age-related infertility is largely due to defects in chromosome segregation in germ cells, in oocytes. So what can we do about it, this knowledge? I think it's too early to say that there are immediate solutions. One of the very surprising discoveries in the last few years is that this substance that holds DNAs together, cohesin, is frequently mutated in many cancer cells. We don't think that's because mitosis is defective, but we think it's probably due because cohesin actually has another function which helps to turn genes on and off during development. And when there are mutations in cohesin, then various oncogenes get turned on when they shouldn't do, and that causes cells to divide when they shouldn't divide, and that can cause cancer.
Now, my last question for you. Obviously, you've made a tremendous, breakthrough, which is why you were awarded tonight. How is this award going to further your research?
Well, I think I always say that you go into research because you want to do it, and you want to know, and recognition will come if you're successful, and it's always nice to be recognized, but the driving force must be wanting to know, wanting to understand. I think so. In that sense, a reward shouldn't make very much difference. But of
Right.
course, we're all human, and it does, and it gives you self-confidence, and it gives you self-confidence that it was all worth it. But basically, you go back to the lab and start losing sleep about not knowing,
Yeah.
and you move on. And yeah,
Well, congratulations. Thank you very much. I
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Okay.